Floods are fairly common if you count the flash flooding we have with severe thunderstorms that occur, especially this time of year, kind of in the dog days of summer. The big difference is that water rises and it goes away very, very quickly. It may cause damage or it may not. The flooding that kind of concerns us most and kind of pertains to the resources behind me as far as rescue occurs with those large storms like hurricane-driven sorts of things that linger for hours and sometimes days. And the other piece of flooding that we have to remember, when you dump a lot of water, it's got to run off downstream. So you might have a problem in one location that then later becomes a problem further downstream and eventually will affect people all the way to Wilmington if you consider the Cape Fear River. The Weather Service makes a distinction, and I can't give you the technical criteria per se they use, but with the watch, it's anticipated that it's going to occur within a certain time frame. But the warning is that it's imminent and that you need to take some sort of protective action right away. A lot of times that's moving to higher ground or avoiding that trouble spot that you may be aware of. Let's look at it though if you're not aware of it. If you're out traveling, you need to be careful with water that's covering the roadways or obscuring your vision or somehow hampering your travel, especially in an area you're not familiar with. First and foremost, if you can at all possible, stay out of the water when it's got to that crisis stage. That way we don't have to worry about you drowning or some other mishap such as electrocution with electrical wire from one of PWC's lines in the water that we couldn't foresee. Another thing though, and we like to get ahead of it on the prevention side, and I know City Public Services would appreciate it, if you have a drain outside your home there on the curb, if you can help them keep it cleared from any sort of debris, leaves, pine straw, or whatever, just sweep it off, and that allows all that water to collect in the proper means and go away. Educate yourselves on sites like ready.gov, and we also encourage people to sign up for Cumberland Alerts so that they get timely emergency protective action information sent to the device of their choice. Some of the newer smartphones surely have the wireless emergency sorts of things, but that's not perfect. We'd rather you subscribe and opt in so that you get what Cumberland County and the City of Fayetteville puts out. It takes such a small amount of water to disrupt the actual footprint that your tire makes on the pavement, and many of you throughout your driving career have hydroplaned a little bit, you've skidded a little bit on a wet road. That's not flood water. That's just breaking that barrier between the rubber and the road surface. So imagine that tire being underwater. You have no control of your vehicle, because if the current comes along and picks it up, you're in for a ride in something that's not a boat, but you're going for a ride as if a boat would carry you. Worse yet, you could be trapped in there. So that's why we ask people, stay away from the water at all cost, especially where a body of water has formed and that's not the usual place for it. We ask people to do three main things, and we repeat this over and over because it's critically important. One is to have a plan for what it is you're going to do and who you're going to go stay with and who you're going to notify, all those things. Even though that seems simple, you need to notify the right people so that they know where you are and can get in touch with you and verify that you're okay. We also recommend they have a kit that will sustain them for 72 hours. And that's something you can put together. It's perfect to involve young children in. They love to put stuff together that way. And we also encourage people also to look from the standpoint, you need to think about things that don't normally fit in a box or a bin, like your medicines and things for pets if you're carrying pets with you. Anything that you might need for a 3-day time period. And we also don't want people to be put off by the fact that if you put the water in there, it probably won't allow anything else in there. So you don't have to put the jugs of the water in the kit. You just need to be mobile. So you can pile it in the trunk of a car or a truck and get away. And then third, we want you to stay informed. Whether it's social media, whether it's traditional radio, television, whatever it might be, you need to be informed. So charge up those devices and the things that you use to stay in touch.